It's Friday. Do you know where your bass player is? Or should you even care? Hey everybody, it's Friday. Hope you're going to have an amazing weekend. Once again, my CockBlocker Gate is now available for pre-order. More details on that later on in the show. Let's get right to it.
Have you ever used any 1176 clones or the URI? I know Warm Audio's WA76 and Stam 786 kick ass. I've only ever used UAs, and I'm curious how the Kecknick and others hold up. I find it difficult to watch to sink that much money into a compressor when that could be put into nicer mic pre's. I know the Distressor is one of your favorite comps, but I want to know your take on other styles of sound squishers. Thanks, dude.
Stop right there. First and foremost, if you're recording metal, you shouldn't be dropping thousands upon thousands of dollars into mic pre's. Believe me, even the shitty ones out there these days and the Behringer boards and the Mackeys are fucking stellar compared to what was available 30 years ago. Seriously, low-end mic pre's are great. It's just overkill at this point if you're getting, the super high-end mic pre's. And this is coming from a guy who records with super high-end mic pre's, like for vocals and that kind of thing. But of course, when it comes to recording metal guitars, I'm still using the ones on my cheapo Behringer $50 board that I bought. Why? Because it sounds good. That being said, you want a good analog compressor? Yes, the Distressor is going to be great. The Arouser plugin is absolutely phenomenal for $199. Oh fuck yeah, it's just amazing. I've got a Stam SA2A. I think it's great. We've got the Stam 1176 at the Hollywood studio. It's great. Very similar to the original 1176, which we have as well. I haven't tried the Clark Techniques or the Warm stuff yet. I really do want to try those out at some point. But another great compressor you might have missed that is dirt cheap and is fucking phenomenal is the FMR really nice compressor. Definitely worth checking out. You know what? I'm going to put some links in the bottom. You guys can follow that around. Check them out. Definitely worth taking a look at. I'm going to see if I can get a Clark Technique on the show at some point and see if I can shoot it out against a real 1176, and we'll hear just exactly how good it really is.
Being an arena level guitar tech for years, I'd have to disagree with you on the better tone, better performance argument. Having worked with several guitar hero types, I've seen it firsthand. I've watched otherwise amazing guitarists have a bad night because of bad tone. I've also seen them play beyond their typical abilities when the rig was happening. Tone does affect a player's attitude and therefore affecting his/her playing. Younger bands are just damn glad to be in front of an audience, so tone be damned, they're gonna go for it. Hang your head in shame? Yeah, no.
Well, I'm confused, Craig. What is it? Is it yeah or is it no? Make up your fucking mind! I don't get that. Yeah, no, yeah. Just is it yes or is it no? Stop making it fucking complicated. Ugh. That being said, yes, that's the fucking show I want to go for. I want to go to a top-level show, pay top dollar, pay all those fucking service charges, all those extra fees and taxes and all that bullshit for the fucking guitar player, my fucking hero, to get up there on stage and go, well, my tone's not happening for me. I'm not going to get everything I got. Yes, I want to pay good fucking money for that bullshit. That is fucking weak. Period. There's no excuse for that. If you are playing at that level and you're going up on stage and you're not giving it everything you got every fucking night, then get off the stage and make room for somebody who will.
Bad tone most certainly affects performance. If I'm not inspired, it's very difficult to give 110%. Doesn't mean the show will suck, but it's not going to be my best.
Once again, that's the show myself and everybody else in the audience really wants to see. The one where you're not giving it your best performance because you didn't like the tone. Here's an idea. Be a professional.
I used to play with a drummer who would excuse his shitty playing with a bad drum set or cymbals were placed uncomfortably. Yeah, we ditched him.
You know what? Good for you. In this business, you're going to meet a lot of people who will talk a big game. There's a big difference between those who talk and those who can deliver the goods. They're usually pretty easy to spot.
Hey Glenn, something that pisses me off is musicians who won't perform in front of small crowds. They give you the same bullshit line like, I feed off the audience. Though I understand the concept, the show being good and engaging is not the audience's responsibility. If you bought a ticket to see a movie and you and only 3 other people were in the theater with you, would the movie be any different? I don't care if it's for 6 or 6,000 people. I am giving them the same show that they paid to see. Besides, I want to see those 6 people leaving and telling their buddies that they missed the fuck out and need to come through the next time. By the way, fuck you, Glenn.
Jeff, you know what? That sounds very similar to a situation I went through in the early 90s when I used to sing in a band called Chaos. We did a couple shows for smaller things, and you know what? I didn't give it everything I had because there wasn't a big crowd. And my band took me aside and said, dude, what the fuck? You're lucky to even be on that fucking stage. If you're not gonna fucking give it everything you got, then you can just quit fucking now, and we're gonna go find somebody who'll do the job better than you. And you know what? That was exactly what I needed to hear, because that's affected my attitude ever since, and every show I played ever since then, I gave it everything I had. I remember we did a 4-hour road trip to go play the Opera House in Toronto. Like 12 people showed up in the other bands, and that was it. And you know what? It was one of the best shows we ever did. We got up there and we fucking kicked ass and we gave it everything we had. And here's the odd thing. The sound guy came up to us after the show. He says, I've seen a lot of bands in here. I've done sound for a lot of bands. I have never, ever seen anybody do what you guys did. Holy fuck. So at least we impressed somebody, you know what? And I'm proud of that show we did, even though not too many people saw it. We really kicked ass. So there you go. There is definitely that whole word of mouth thing. And once again, I reiterate, if you're not going to get on stage and give it the best you can, then get the fuck off the stage, because nobody wants to see you do it half-assed. Hey everybody, this episode's sponsored by me, presenting the SMG CockBlocker Gate. It is the world's greatest metal guitar gate pedal ever. It's a sidechain gate, meaning it uses your standard I/O like normal gates, but this thing also has an I/O up top that goes to your effects loop, so when you stop playing, it shuts your amp down. It's got one knob and that's it. That way the bass players don't get confused. Seriously, it is freaking awesome. Make sure you check out the demo I did with Jen Majera on this thing. It is absolutely awesome. It's going to be available for pre-order for the next 90 days. Once it's gone for good. Cost is $199 US and $20 shipping anywhere in the world. You want your guitars to stop when you want them to stop? Check out the one and only SMG CockBlocker.
Glenn, when I have money, I will pay for your visit to Holland and your salary to mix our first demo. You gotta sleep in my house, though. No worries, I am married. Love your channel.
Hey, man, I was in Holland earlier this year. I had an absolutely amazing time. Super cool country. Just a cool, chill vibe. I love how everybody bicycles everywhere, all over the place. It's great. It's so fucking flat. You can actually do that. That's just fucking awesome. Seriously, can't say enough good things about it. We visited the Deep Grooves vinyl pressing facility in Leeuwarden and just had an amazing time. And if you're doing a record and you're thinking about maybe putting out a vinyl, call up Deep Grooves. They really do an amazing job. Just super impressed by that entire operation. Wow. You know what? If we can make that happen, that's pretty great. But one thing there, you said,
when I have the money.
I'm not going to hold my breath. And now it's time for
the butthurt of the week. Dude, fuck off. Half of those people aren't pros like you. Stop being a douchebag. Work on your social skills and grow up, Jesus Christ.
I will work on my social skills when you work on your grammar skills. You know how hard it is to read that stuff out loud? Try a fucking comma once in a while. Fuck. See, the problem with all that is they're not pros, but yet they expect a pro-level recording out of you. And therein lies the rub. They're not willing to give a pro-level performance, but they want a pro-level result. That is what makes the job so fucking difficult. But don't take my word for it. Check out this next comment.
I've dealt with musicians. Your replies are the only way to handle them. As soon as you show even a hint of flexibility, they will ungratefully take a mile. Clearly and aggressively define the boundaries, or those pricks will take advantage.
And you are absolutely 100% correct, right on the money. If you do flat rates, guess what? You're going to be watching people do shitty performances until you run out of oxygen in your fucking studio. Always clearly define what's expected from the band, what they can expect, and get it in writing and have them fucking sign on it. Otherwise, you're in for a fucking world of hurt, because musicians will go to the ends of the earth to avoid actually paying you in real money.
You know this whole new craze about respecting people's feelings and not hurting them? Yeah, forget that shit. No one ever learned shit by people stroking their ego and praising their strengths. Good old-fashioned constructive criticism is king. As any kind of artist, you want honesty, and if you can't take said honesty, then find another hobby, because you don't have the balls for it. Improvement without adversity is empty anyway. I don't get why people want to be coddled. What an empty and unrewarding existence that would be.
Dude, that was amazing. Thank you.
In your more recent videos where someone is tracking drums, the drummer is positioned in front of what looks like a wood-slatted wall. Is that some sort of recessed membrane-style bass trap? Can you talk about this or point me towards a pre-existing vid with some info on it? Thanks.
That's what's called a Helmholtz resonator. We built it right into the wall. We kind of built the walls backwards. I got the plans for it and a lot of other ideas for building the studio from the John Sayers Studio Design Forum. I've shouted out that forum numerous times on the show. It is a wonderful wealth of information on home studio design, that kind of thing. And the Helmholtz resonator works a bit like a diffuser and a bit like a low mid-range absorber. It's like a mathematical formula you can calculate to find out what the absorption coefficients are and what frequencies you're hitting and that kind of thing. And yeah, it works out pretty well. Just keep some of the nasty frequencies from bouncing around in the room. Actually, the control room here has multi-resonators built into the side, and those help as well. It's pretty cool. You start cranking things up in here, you can actually feel them moving. And what that does is it translates the lower frequencies into motion and therefore heat, and absorbs that and keeps shit from bouncing back into the room. It's a super cool process. It's works on the same principle as blowing across a beer bottle. You know, you get the hoo kind of sound. If you were to put some cotton in there, that would absorb that frequency, and that's basically what we're doing on a much larger scale.
Are you using a new camera now? The video editing and quality seems significantly better in this video for some reason.
You're referencing the Spider 5 video I did a couple weeks ago. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for watching. Two things. I want to give a shout out to my new editor, Isaac Stolzer. Gary also goes by ISG. He edits for Gear Gods, and he recently asked me if he could start editing for me. And the dude is a monster fucking talent. I'm super thrilled to be working with him. He does just a fantastic job. And no, I did not get a new camera. It's the same GH5, but I got new lights supplied to me by Aperture. I'm using the 120D Mark II lights with a great big softbox. I'm only using one here, and then I've got like a little LED panel in the back as a backlight. And yeah, they're probably the best lights I've ever used, and I've used a lot of different ones. I've got some old Mole Richardson tungsten lights from you know, the Hollywood days. I've got some of the smaller LED panels. Wasn't a huge fan of those. They're okay for travel videos and whatnot, but not for in the studio. I have my homemade set of Kino flows that I used for the last 3-4 years. They're good, but this is just phenomenal. You know, it gives some depth and some separation in that. And yeah, I'm super impressed. Back at the Hollywood studio, I've got some lights by Quasar Science. They're pretty good too, but when it comes to skin tones, these things take the cake. Holy shit, I'm so impressed with the Aperture stuff. And here's the awesome thing. I was actually looking at buying a new camera because I thought it was the camera's fault that I wasn't getting the skin tones that I wanted. Nope, turns out the camera is absolutely fine. It was just the lights.
You've often talked about double or even triple tracking guitars. Have you ever double tracked drums to get a fuller sound?
Not entire drum kits. I find that'll just be, you know, too flammy. Getting two drummers to play in lockstep, ooh, that'd be tricky. And if you're playing speed metal or something like that with a lot of fast double kicks, yeah, good luck with that. That being said, for special situations and special occasions, that kind of thing, I've done a couple of things. I did a song called Headed for Disaster by a band called Betrayer, and the intro, I think we layered about 12 floor toms just to get this big booming, you know, rumbling army sound going on, and that was pretty cool until they kicked in the baseball organ keyboards, which I still have no idea why they put in a metal song, but whatever. It was an interesting track. I think it's up on YouTube. It's not the best quality, but yeah, the intro was definitely fucking cool.
Hello, Glenn. Greetings from Poland. I would like to know your opinion and advice on this. I was thinking about getting an SM7B for speech and screaming vocals, but everywhere I look, people say it requires a lot of gain, and I think my PreSonus audio box don't have enough. Do you think an Audient ID14 would handle it on its own? Also, would you agree that the Lewitt LCT440 is a good alternative for both speech and harsh vocals?
Well, I can tell you the Audient stuff is phenomenal. It'll probably work pretty well with an SM7. I think you should be able to get it loud enough. That being said, the Lewitt stuff is fucking amazing too. I haven't plugged in a Lewitt mic yet that I didn't like. Will it work on screaming vocals? Yes. I actually did vocals for like a metalcore album a few years back, and we used my U87 for the vocals instead of the SM7B. You know, there's no hard and fast rule. If it sounds good, it is. So yeah, don't be afraid to try out the Lewitt.
Why the fuck would you ruin a perfectly good system by putting Hackintosh on it?
Mainly because I'm not playing very many games anymore. I'll say this, I've been working with the Hackintosh system for the last few weeks, and it's rock fucking solid. And I haven't managed to crash it yet, so there is that. I like the integration. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting system. I really hope Mac licenses the OS someday, so those of us who build systems can put that on. I think that'd be really fucking cool.
Do you think Synergy amps are worth the money, or would I be better off with the tube amp?
I think Synergy amps are fucking amazing. I've got the 50 watt just out of camera shot right there. And here's the thing, they are tube amps. It's a 50 watt tube power section, and it's a tube preamp as well. I've got the Plexi preamp right here. And that's what's great. You can swap out the preamps for different sounds. I've got the Plexi, I've got the 800, I've got the Dietzel, I've got the Soldano, I've got the HBE. They're really super cool in that regard, that you can get a completely different sound just by swapping out a preamp. So yeah, definitely worth taking a look at. I think the plexi module on this thing is absolutely fucking amazing, and it's what I used to reamp the guitars on that tune Scourge of the Earth I remixed live a couple weeks back. And if you missed that one, please hit the notification bell, and that way you'll get word next time I'm doing a mixing live stream.
At the end of the day, all music is about is making people feel an emotion. That's it! If my computer helps make something that another person can feel something from that, then great. If a computer ends up taking the life out of a recording, then that's bad. But ultimately, don't forget it's all about the result, not the process.
Well, that's the thing about over-processed productions these days. They definitely make me feel an emotion. And that emotion is boredom.
Hi, I recently found your channel, and I usually don't comment on videos, but I've been watching for about 5 hours now. I'm a senior in an undergrad for music technology audio production, and this information is extremely helpful and entertaining. I have a playing-related questions. I watched your video about the Gibson SG because I recently bought one. I was wondering your thoughts about shredding playing metal on an SG. Also, what do you advise for building speed, and what would some techniques, aside from just playing along with a metronome, that you've used to build your technique?
Playing metal on an SG, yeah, there's a long, proud history of guys in huge metal bands playing on SGs. Angus Young comes to mind, Glenn Tipton from Judas Priest, Tony Iommi, the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, it's a great metal guitar. Just set up the action right, yeah, you can burn it up like fucking crazy. That being said about shredding, I'm kind of the wrong guy to ask that question because I'm not a shred guitar player. I mean, like you want to ask somebody like Stevie T or Jared Dines or one of those guys who can really tear up the fretboard because they're far better guitar players than I could ever hope to be. That being said, when I was kind of going through my Steve Vai phase in the early 90s, yes, I got a little obsessed with the whole Passion and Warfare record. Play along to what you do, but what I'd do is, I'd sit down and watch a movie or whatnot. I'd just, do my fretboard routine for hours on end while watching movies and just work on my technique and that kind of thing that way. The other cool thing is, I tried this a few times, is do the same thing repetitively over and over and over and over and over and over again. Because your subconscious is going to force you to learn how to play that differently. And you can wind up coming with new and interesting techniques just out of the sheer boredom because your mind's going to force you to do it differently. That's worked for me on several occasions, so give that a shot. Maybe that'll work for you too. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Once again, thank you so much to our sponsor, me. Check out the SMG CockBlocker Gate. It's available now for pre-order. It's only going to be around for a couple more months. Get it now before it's gone for good. It is seriously the most awesome gate pedal for metal ever devised. And once again, it's got the bass player friendly one knob, so even he can figure it out. Definitely worth checking out. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you guys can get notified when I've got my live streams coming up. Until next time, Hasa Diga Ibawai.